Jams, jams, jams. Picture books and jams. Welcome, everybody, to PBJamz. Music and picture books. What a perfect sandwich. Squish them all together. What a yummy snack. PBJamz. Yummy books and music. PBJamz. Reading, writing, teaching. PBJamz. What a yummy treat. Jamming PBs all the time. PBJamz.
Morning or afternoon, my PBJamz fans and friends. We're so glad you joined us for another episode today. We are here with Chen, who is the author and illustrator of an absolutely beautiful book called EMET'S BOX. If you can see that, it's absolutely wonderful. So we're going to be chatting a little bit about Jeni's journey and this book and the art and the text and the music, and it's all wonderful. So thank you, Jeni, for being here with us. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Tanya.
So, one of the first things that I usually chat with people about is, how did you come up with this idea for EMET'S BOX? Where was your inspiration?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. I think my inspiration came from my son when he was about 5 years old. I got the idea because I see him waking up every morning so excited, right? Yeah. And then at night, I knew he was tired, but he doesn't want to go to bed. I was like, oh my God, that zest for life, the passion for life, I want that in my own life. Yeah. And I also read Joseph Campbell, that he said, we are not really looking for the meaning of life, but the feeling of being alive. And I was like, yeah, that's what kids have, right? Yeah. So I was asking myself, like, what makes me feel alive? And I remember that I loved to draw when I was a kid, but I kind of stopped when I grew up and become like more responsible. Yeah. So I started drawing again. Like I started drawing what the funny things my son said or did, and I really enjoyed drawing. I took painting classes, I took pottery classes, and I really enjoyed them. And I was wondering, why did I ever stop? So that's my inspiration for the book. I hope that kids will always remember that what they had inside and never forget it. It's kind of like a little message for my son and all the kids out there. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it's a great message, but it's also a great message for adults. Like when I read this book as a 55-year-old, I'm thinking, yeah, I can totally relate to that. Like, and I know my husband and I, music is one of the things that kind of brought us together. And we've had some times in our marriage where we've gotten really involved with music. And those are always such sweet, sweet times when you do kind of reconnect with that love of something that was so beautiful in your life that you don't get to experience necessarily on the day to day. And it was one of the great reasons why I transitioned from a regular second grade classroom when the position opened up over to being a music teacher, because it gave me a chance to go back and reconnect with that music that I loved so much. And so it is fun now to get to do what I love every single day and get to engage with music every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is. It really is. So, at first glance, and even like halfway through this book, almost all the way to the end, it appears that the book is totally about art and color and illustration. But then talk to us a little bit about the music connection and where that comes in.
Yeah, I've always loved to listen to music when I was a kid. Like I would always have to play music by my table, even when I was doing homework before I go to bed. So in the book, I was telling people, like, when I was a kid, when I grew up, I want to be Madonna. But the thing is, I'm not good musically. Like, I cannot sing. And I learned piano, but I was so bad at it.
Me too.
Yeah, but I always, like you're a music teacher. I'm not. But I always love music because I don't know, when I hear music, it moves something inside of me, right? Yeah, even I'm not that good, but like it's something inside music that moves people.
Yes.
Their soul. And yeah. So, and then my husband, he's a singer. He likes music.
Oh, okay.
And my son can sing, but not me. So So yeah, and I want to include different kind of interests in my book. Like it's not just art, it's not just music. Like I want to include different kind of creativity. I think all kids are creative because I volunteer at the art gallery, my local gallery.
Yeah.
And I work with kids in school art programs, and they are also very creative. Like I hope they will never forget it. But our creativity doesn't have to be in arts or in music or it could be in science, right? Or politics. I don't know. Like I think we need creativity in our society now to move forward.
Yes. Yeah. Creativity is a spark that we have from the time that we're born. I think I agree with you. And I think we're creative until we're taught not to be creative. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And you're right. And so that's what happens. I wanted to talk just a little bit before I do that. I just want to show this. This spread is where the music comes in. And so I love that. I love that she hears that music and she's like, wait. And then it reminds her of her own zest for life. But I wanted to talk about your decision too. And I didn't ask you this ahead of time, but this decision about when he realizes that he's left something behind and you go to Grayscale in the art. Like that was such a cool decision. And it really gave us a window into how Emmett was seeing his world without having that creativity in the moment. So can you talk a little bit about that decision?
Yeah, I think because I love art, so basically like people ask me what's your favorite color, and I was like, I cannot pick. Like there's no one color I can pick, right? Yeah. So and then I think it's easier for the illustration to show the loss of color, like to reflect that the life is gray and then less meaningful, I guess, like not fulfilled, like using gray. And then when I feel alive, I can use color to represent that. And I think it's easy on that part. If I want to do that with music, it could be harder. Yeah, but I try to do it at the end. So I think like because I was born in Taiwan, and then we have a saying that life is gray. That means like your life is gray. So that means like you have no purpose, meaning, or like the feeling of being alive. Yeah. So I think that's a natural choice for me.
Yeah. It was beautiful. It was so effective. Like it really helped us to see things through his eyes. And I love how you use the color in the beginning and at the end to add that zest and that, the color and the life. And that's a great saying that, without those things that we love, without that purpose, and life does feel great and look great. And that's how our soul feels at those times. So it was just a great choice. Just such a lovely, lovely book. And Jen's right. She doesn't just focus on art or music at the very end. There's quite a few other hobbies and interests and things like she mentioned that can bring theoretical color to our world and make us feel zestful and alive. And so Emmett's Box, I think, is one of those picture books that's absolutely wonderful for kids, and they're going to love the use of color and all the great illustrations and the message. And Emmett as a character, he's just darling. But for adults, like, I think it's a great callback to go back and explore and experience those things that we love and not leave them behind. Such a great message.
Thank you.
Yeah. What other things, is there anything else that you would like for us to know about this book that I haven't talked about?
Actually, I thought of something. After I was making the book, right? And I kept thinking, why did we forget? Like, why did we ever forget? And then I read this book by Ken Robinson, like called The Element. And I don't know if I have the book here. Anyway, he has the most watched TED Talk on on TED Talk. And then he said that topic was, does school kill creativity? And he was trying to tell people to explore different things so we can find what we like and what we love. And then once you found the meeting point between what you like and what you love, that's your element. And then he was saying, why we forget is because of the industrial age. Like we were trained to follow orders so we can pump up products the same way. Like we want the exact same stuff. Yeah, but now he was saying that we are moving forward, like moving past the industrial age, and then we need more creativity from all sorts of people, all sorts of talents. Yeah, so I thought that's awesome book. I'm rereading that book and I want to highlight every line, say, oh my God, he's so right.
Yeah, one of those you kind of want to memorize. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I found the answer in Canva. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good when we find the answer. That sounds like a great recommendation. I wrote that down to take a look at it. And so hopefully some of our viewers will do that as well. That's awesome.
Yes.
So talk to us about what's coming up next for you, Jen. Do you have anything new in the works that you can share with us?
I'm actually working on a public art residency. So like I'm becoming an artist now ever since I started working on the book.
Yeah.
I applied to different artist calls and then I'm doing public art. So I'm in this residency where I'm trying different ways of doing like public art to engage people. So I'm working on that now. And like a few weeks ago, I went to a comic arts festival.
Yeah.
And then I showed them my comics that I was doing these comics. That these were what got me started in drawing, right? When my son was born. And then I counted them. Since he was 5, I probably have like over 100 of these kind of panel comics, like four panel comics. And then I want to make them maybe into a book.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So at the festival, the little kid, like when they have this, they put it in their pocket and they'll bring it out and just read it. And it's just printed on printed paper and it's like all wrinkled up, but they will just pull it out of their pocket. And that made me feel like, oh, I want to make more.
Yes, absolutely. That's great. So do you have some of those available on your website where people can just print them off like that, or?
No, not yet. I print them out and see, but then I will eventually put them out for sale.
Yeah, that's great. It always feels good when people appreciate our work, no matter what age they are, no matter what kind of work it is. It does something for our soul when we see people using and reading and enjoying what we have produced or our ideas. It's always a great feeling. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So your type of art would lend itself well maybe to graphic novels. Is that something that is in the works for you or anything that you've considered?
Yeah, graphic novel is going to be longer, I think, but like mine will be like a compilation of all the work.
I gotcha.
And then I want to keep drawing more comics. I was doing like maybe one per month, and then I want to get better at it and maybe produce more often. Yes.
Awesome. So many good things happening in your world. That's great. I know they enjoyed chatting with you, and I think it's so important for kids to see people doing the things that they love at a young age. I think that's one thing too. I know Matt Forrest Essenwine, he and I were talking via Zoom one day, and he was saying that when he was a young person, the age of my students, he said, I didn't know an author or a poet was something that you could do when you grew up. Like I didn't know that was a job. And I think that's an area where maybe schools have fallen down just a little bit too, in that we kind of highlight the normal traditional jobs that we all see in the day-to-day, but there's so many behind the scenes jobs that produce the things that we love, the music and the art and the books, and even in the medical field, the ones that are kind of behind the scenes that are not the doctors and the nurses. And I think there's so many great things that they can do. And so it's wonderful for you to go out in places where, you know, kids can see, hey, this is something that I could do as a grown-up. I don't have to leave that behind when I grow up.
Yes, totally. Yeah, I think that's what Ken Robinson was saying, that, you know, the school focused so much on the academics, right? And then some kids might have other talents outside of math or literature, and they feel that they have nothing to offer, but that's not true. Maybe they are handy people, they can fix things.
Right.
Or something else that are not focused in school, like acting maybe. But I think the school are getting better and better.
I think we are too. I think they're starting to, there's been a big push again for arts in the school, and even for like in the high school, the shop classes and the you know, the more work-based areas for kids that do have more of a penchant in that direction. So I do think it's important that we offer lots of different and varied opportunities for kids to shine. You know, we all want to shine.
Yes. I think everyone has something in themselves that they can shine.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. We all got a place where we can shine. We just got to find it, which goes back to that TED Talk that you were talking about in that book, Our Element, finding our element. So we're so glad that you found your element, Jen.
Thank you so
we're
much.
glad that you're back to drawing and writing. We can't wait to read more of your amazing books and comics, and maybe one day a graphic novel. Who knows? Well, thanks, PBJamz, folks, for joining us today in this awesome conversation about creativity and finding our element, whether it's art or music or something that you do with your hands or your brain, whatever it is. We hope that you find your element and that you find a way to shine this week and throughout the coming weeks. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right.
PBJamz, yummy books and music. PBJamz, reading, writing, teaching. PBJamz, what a yummy treat. Jamming PBs all the time. PBJamz, jams, jams, jams. Picture books and jams.